Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV, where we last time did our Alliance raid quest, and the first raid, Jeuno the First Walk. And now we are here in, I don't know, this place, with Bakul Jaja and Prishe, who last time seemed to be under some sort of mind control and attacked us. But she seemed fine now. Hopefully this girl can give us some answers. Okay, Prishin. What were your names again? Desiree and Bakul Jaja. Desiree and Bakul Jaja, right? I don't know where you're from, but I can tell I'd love to visit. Can't say I've ever seen anyone quite like you before. If you're done with the small talk, would you mind explaining why you attacked us? What in the world are you talking about? Don't play the fool with us. You were spouting nonsense out of being Tauros and nearly killed a man on your rampage. Well, I do recall fighting Tauros not long ago to protect Ulmia. Ulmia? A friend of hers, you say? Then all's well and good, but she was addressing Gulul Jaja's fate with that name. The incantations needed to summon it are said to be based on a much older magic, one capable of clouding people's minds. If our enemy is skilled enough to summon Gulul Jaja, it stands to reason such tricks are not beyond them. Meaning young Prisha was likely tricked into believing the shade was this Ulmia person? So it was all an illusion then. It's starting to come back to me. There was someone who warned me that a dear friend needed my protection. He was blue like your left head, and he gave me these bizarre weapons. Blue like me? I usually fight with my fists, but I didn't think twice to accept what they gave me. I suppose their magic's to blame. In any case, I hope the real Ulmia hasn't been dragged into all this. Can you tell us anything about the one you thought was your Ulmia? Where they may be hiding, perhaps? Well, I could, but when I got here, I was all by my lonesome. You're being where exactly? Jeuno, at least I think this is Jeuno? There was never anything like that here before. It's mostly empty, but there are a few people lingering about. If you know where to look, maybe they can tell us something? Go with Prish and see what you can learn of this place and the whereabouts of that shade. We will remain here and keep watch on this rift. I sense something foul on the winds here. The sooner I leave this place, the better. Alright then, let's have a look around. Oh, and we should probably stop by the Tenshoro as well. It's in the back of Neptune's Spire, across the way from the fountain. Prish is now accompanying you. I've only visited Jeuno a handful of times. When I needed a place to lay low and maybe to lick my wounds once or twice. I always enjoyed my time here though. Met quite a few interesting people along the way. Elven Adventurer. Oh good, I was hoping to run into you two. I don't wish to be overly forward, but why were you speaking with that Mamulja earlier? More importantly, what was it doing here? I would never dare venture beyond the shores of Aragia unless... My god, has Gulul Jaja laid siege to Ad Urgat? Is Jeuno next to fall? I don't know anything about sieges or invasions, but the Mamulja over there is a friend of mine. There ain't nothing for you to worry about. Poor man's probably more confused than we are about all this. I do hope Serpent General Aliapo is alright. Serpent General Aliapo, huh? Auction house. Any questions? The past great wealth. Adventurers gather from all corners of the world to buy and sell their spoils here. The taxes are a pain, but it's worth it for a wide selection. Just between you and me, though. I've heard you can cut a good deal with merchants peddling their wares just outside of town. But why is it closed? The auction house never closes. Maybe we are waiting for things to return back to normal around here? Whenever they reopen, I suggest you stop by. Who knows, you may be lucky and find something way below market price. You're new to Jeuno, aren't you? I can tell by the way you are taking the sights. The city was built upon Heaven's Bridge, connecting the two great continents of Quorn and Mindatia. You'll find there's an upper and lower level, a port and the administrative plaza of Rulut Gardens. At least, you would have before. Always in and out of lower Jeuno appeared to be blocked or cut off. The situation here is worse than I thought. Welcome, Chamber of Commerce. We assist job labor. Can't say I've seen your sort around here before. Where are you from, stranger? Uda, can't say I've heard of it. Most folk passing through here from Sandoria, Bastok or Windhurst. Considering the present state of Jeuno though, seems strange as becoming a common occurrence. I'd be lying if I said I'd heard of your homeland either, but that's not important right now. At times like this, we need to know who can be trusted. What sort of place is Ulda anyway? Maybe I can visit someday. What? Why is this blocked off? There's supposed to be stairs here leading up to the residential area. I swear, things get stranger here by the minute. If you find any one-sheet music scrolls, give them here. Gobby promises to make it worth your while. Okay. So you're the music exchange character, because we no longer get the music in the raid itself. It's only tokens for it. Party looking dark samurai dragoon. Looking the fool. Looking the hermit. I, Chululu, divining 5 cards. Other waters. Neptune's Spire. Applicants invite our branch. Please, will issue membership. What's here? A room. Entrance to the Tenshodo. You press against the wall, but it refuses to budge. Won't open? Then I guess we won't be meeting Aldo. He's head of a Tenshodo. When the world's in danger, he's always there to lend me a hand. Reminds me of my friends with science. Science, huh? They sound like a competent lot. Unfortunately, we're on our own here. Whatever's happening here, these people are just as bewildered as we are. We should go back and find Bakul Jaja. See if he's noticed anything. Returned at last, with answers I hope. More questions than answers, really. So we're truly in this Jeuno, as she says. But I've traveled all over Tural and never heard of a Jeuno or a Sandoria or any other of those places. What in Altana's name is Tural? I thought all you Mamulja are from Awagia. Prisha, you're alright. And she has you to thank, I'm sure. Bet she does. Thanks for caring, I guess. And who are you exactly? He's the one who asked me to go and look for you. I appreciate the concern, but I've never seen him before in my life. How can you say such a thing? I mean, you do like the sort I might know, but I'm drawing a blank. What's his name, mister? My name is... You must be one they found wounded in the Sky Deep's note. Well, we have to call you something. How about Ajal? Vagabond in the Mamulja tongue. Word may be closer to adventurer in Desiree Eorzean. Nicely chosen, brother. But does have a rather nice ring to it. Ajal it is. So where are we exactly? Jeuno, or at least a close approximation. Surely you remember this place, don't you? It does feel familiar. What's so special about this place anyway? Where did that damn shade get off to? None of this makes any sense. My, what a vexing predicament. Ah, it is... Hey, that's the one that put me under a spell, I'm sure of it. So the Bunova sycophant yet lives. What are you doing here? As you have found me in a generous mood, I thought I might enlighten you as to the nature of this place. That's why you've come, isn't it? The young lady is correct. This is the Grand Duchy of Jeuno. So we really are in Jeuno. And yet something about it feels so off. I never said this was a real one. It is an imitation. A rather convincing one, I might add, which I created based on visions of another world. You built this? That I did. While you and yours were holding the Dawn Servant's coronation, Zarelja and I ventured to the gate of the Golden City. Everything was proceeding as planned. The gate's key was in our possession, the power to reshape the world within our grasp. Or so I thought. In the eyes of a resilient sun, I was but a useless tool to be cast aside. By all rights, I should have died when he struck me down. But once the chamber was empty, the gate still open, I saw my chance. What I found when I dragged myself across the threshold was an emptiness, a space beyond time. It was there, in this dark expanse, I beheld another world. That world was called Vanadiel. What a lot of rubbish, as if anyone would believe that everything and everyone here is little more than one of their toys. He turned to stone? As I said, everything you see is of my creation. Much like we fashioned a phantom of Gulul Jaja for the feet of a brotherhood, I was able to use our ceremonial tools to breathe life into my visions of Vanadiel. Under normal circumstances, my conjurings only have strength enough for a brief clash. With that stone, however, my magics are capable of so much more. Isn't that what the Zoralja used to build his army? Electrope, he called it. It is. Electrope, you say? If you know its name, then I trust you also know these stones are possessed of immense power. Power enough for my creation to persist for as long as I please. Fortunate then, that world between worlds was filled with structures made from Electrope. More than I could ever hope for. Wait, if everything we see here, everything we believe was from Vanadiel is of your making, then am I? Gods, it would mean I am as well. You? Yes, well, a trivial thread in the tapestry of my grand design. And what a wondrous weave it will be, made possible by the endless possibilities gleaned in that walk of echoes. The memories buried there, those remnants of echoes, will shape my dreams into reality. I once believed that dream lay in the resilient sun, but the bastard is dead to me. By my hand, Turaldo, the greatest ruler the world has ever known. I made an admirable start, but my work is far from finished. Very soon I will draw upon the echoes once more to summon the greatest beings of Vanadiel. Their strength will be made one with this magnificent shade. The reason and resolve which built the nation of Tuliolal, matched with the uncompromising tyranny that commanded the Mamulja of that world. If you won't listen to reason, maybe you'll listen to my fists. That's the spirit. My preparations will take time, of course, but when I'm ready, you can be certain I will call upon you to bear witness to my greatness. So we'll just wait. Damn it all. Just when I thought things couldn't become more complicated. Making sense of Alexandria was trouble enough, but now we have this Vanadiel to deal with as well. I can only imagine how Prish and Alshal must feel. What do you do when your very existence is called into question? First he served that tyrant Zoralja, and now he would dare usurp the throne with his pale imitation of a dawn servant? Sniveling wretch. That world was called Vanadiel. Twice a night, I can recall nothing of my past to refute Zoralja's claims. Prish, on the other hand, seems to know everything of her past and who she is. Yet to be told the memories of your life are not your own? I can only imagine how she must feel. Now's not the time to be disheartened. At least not here, anyway. I wouldn't trust anything made by Zoralja to be safe for long. Or to remain functional. Let's return to Mamuk while we still can. My mother will want to know what we've seen here. I'm glad to see you and Baku Jaja return safely, and we've brought a new guest. Now that we are returned, I can see now this isn't the Mamuk that I know. There you are. I thought you should be the one to explain what happened out there in Yaktel. Not simply from another territory, but another world entirely? That explained much of the initial confusion between us. My apologies for any trouble I may have caused, and thank you for taking me in. Different worlds, and yet we seem to have so much in common. I cannot help but wonder what it is that links the two together. What indeed? You must take us for the Mamulja of your Vanadiel when we first met. May I ask what they are like? Nothing at all like you and yours, even if they do bear a striking resemblance. There was a time when all the peoples of Vanadiel, the Mamulja included, knew peace. But a tyrant possessed of terrible power claimed rulership over the Mamulja and turned them against us. Before we realized that we were at war. A tale similar to our own in a way, but where few of us born with two heads grow to be immensely powerful. That power was used to justify our preeminence over all others. But that is not who we are anymore. We can be better than our forebears. We will be better. All of our hard work will be for nothing if Zoralja succeeds in seizing the throne. Well, you're not one for 8 in stopping him, I promise you that. Oh, keen to lend a hand, are you? I don't need to know who I am to know the right thing to do. My blade is yours, or my honor as an adventurer of Vanadiel will put an end to Zoralja's schemes. If she were here, I'm sure she'd have done the same. Right then, we can worry over whether or not I'm real another day. I'm not going to stand around and let this Zoralja piss all over the memories of my home. So you can count me in too. Don't think you can forget about us. This all started in Yaktel, and we have a duty to keep our forest safe. The Zoralja left us without a trail to follow, but it's only a matter of time before he reveals himself to challenge Desiree once more. If you're to be ready, I think it's prudent the two of you learn more of our world. An excellent idea, brother. We should start with Toliola and see to our own preparations while we're there. If you would meet us at the dirigible landing, we will see Prish and Aljal to Toliola. I've no doubt Ajal and Prish will be safe at your side. But do make sure Bakur Jaja doesn't overexert himself. Those balloon-powered airships are really something. I didn't expect the flight to be so smooth. So this is Tuliyollal. Before I forget, I couldn't help but notice how much you seem to know about me. Is there anything else you remember? I'm afraid I don't. And as you don't recognize me either, perhaps we weren't acquainted after all? What I know of you was likely overheard in a tavern somewhere, patron sharing a story of your famed exploits. Or maybe with a adventurer name. Maybe he's the inside of a Final Fantasy XI player character? I see, well, I'll leave it at that then. Now, where to begin? Brother, would it not be wise to first apprise the Landsguard of what happened? Would you prefer another stern lecture from the Vow of Reason? I'd sooner rip off our tail. Fine. Could you keep them occupied while we see to the Landsguard? Maybe take them to eat or something. I know. Take them to Auntie's to sample her tacos. Yeah, for that first meal of yours we spoiled. And just so we're clear, we're not expecting to earn your forgiveness. No amount of good deeds will ever undo our past, but there's always time to build a better future. You're right. When you get there, tell her we sent you. She'll see that we're taken care of. I hoped she might remember me. But she doesn't even seem to know me. Gods, who am I? Auntie's tacos, huh? Let me guess. They serve tacos? That they do. Oh, I can hardly wait. I ate tacos all the time back home. But I suppose it wasn't hard to take a more scenic route. Maybe something along the way will help jog Alja's memory? They're now accompanying you. The diversity of a people here is unlike anything I've ever seen in Banaliel. Can't tell you what a relief it is to know everyone here can get along. What in Altana's name is that? Do people actually ride those things? Chocobos are the only beasts I've ever seen used for riding in Banaliel. If they have any, I'd sure like to see them. Those creatures remind me of the chocobos in Banaliel. To say the adventurers found them indispensable would be no exaggeration. From shore to shore, they were our faithful companions, wheresoever the road might lead us. Walking the streets of an unfamiliar city. It feels like I'm back on another adventure. My home is surrounded by ocean too, you know? It's the most beautiful views on a clear day. Not without the occasional monster though. It's nice being able to walk around like this without your guard up all the time. I cannot say why, but I've remembered something looking out at the sand dunes. There was a man out on the docks who claimed he could teach me new battle arts. But he would only agree on the condition that I retrieved for him a damselfly worm, an apron, and a magic skull. I don't suppose you've met anyone on your travels who made such queer requests? So these are the markets of Tuliyollal. There's so many stands, I wouldn't know where to begin. It's enough to make my head spin. Some food would sure hit the spot right about now. No push, remember? You're about to eat tacos. I happened to spy a few goblins on the way to the market. Remember them living in the major cities of Anadiel as well. Of course, there was no shortage of the unscrupulous sort living in the wilds as well. They would gather in droves and give chase to adventurers, forcing anyone and everyone to retreat back to the safety of town. Here they are called moblins. This is a place, right? Can smell the savory meats already. And you must be on tea. Bakujaja recommended we sample your tacos, so we have 3 of your finest, please? Bakujaja sent you, did he? Take a seat, I'll be right over the tray of our world-famous fare. Tacos at long last. Oh, I've waited for this moment. I thought nothing could match the rich flavor of our tacos back home. The spicy seasoning of this meat is something else. The meat's in Bakujaja, so don't hold back. Push has taken the lead, but we won't be outdone, surely. Oh, I couldn't eat another bite. Thanks for treating us. It's almost like a taste of home. Tavnazia. Seeing as we still have a little extra time to ourselves, can we hear more about Vanadiel? Sure. "20 years ago, the land was gripped by a terrible conflict. The Crystal War, they called it. It wasn't long before my home, Tavnazia, was drawn into the struggle. During the assault on the peninsula, the Beastmen launched a weapon so powerful it sundered the land connecting us to the mainland. Those who survived fled to the Tavnazian safehold. It wasn't much, but we were able to piece together a modest living down in those caves. Sorry, I'm spoiling the mood, aren't I? You're an adventurer too, aren't you? Having any tales of daring you can share with us? Quite a lot. Traveling to other worlds and saving this one from the very embodiment of despair? Wait, really? You're not just an adventurer, you're a goddamn living legend! A hero. A living legend. Are you alright? Sorry for the wait. There wasn't much to apprise the lands cut off, as you well know. That the villager was behind the stolen relics and the sightings of Gulujaja was understandably difficult for them to hear. And yet there are others enticed by the rumors of a strange portal in the woods. I've heard some foolhardy treasure seekers are even gone off looking for it. That can't be good. A dangerous thought, knowing the Reacher could show up at any time with more of those echoes. Which is why I'm going back to Jeuno to make sure people stay out of there. If you're going, then so are we. It beats sitting around waiting. Right. I'm fairly sure I had Tavnasian tacos before. They were famous for their heartiness and helped stave off fatigue. Perfect for those who often found themselves on the defense in battle. Maybe we should bring Vukla Mat and that other friend of yours? Kryl, was it? God, those tacos were bloody brilliant. There's nothing better than good food and good company to pass the time. Jeuno. Would that we had time to show you more of Loyola, but we can't afford to have anyone wandering about in Jeuno. Then let us make haste to Yaktel. It's hard to blame anyone for wanting to take a peek inside. I know I certainly would. The sooner we clear this place out, the better. I can only speak for myself, but the idea of running headlong through a mysterious rift to gods nowhere in search of treasure seems absurd. Too well, there's no shortage of legends like the City of Gold to inspire would-be treasure seekers. No risk is too great if they believe that dreams can be realized. Efforts better spent on a more honest living, I'd say. Walking the noble path like you, brother. In any case, whoever we find in there, we have to get them out quickly. I realize how preposterous it seems, but none of this is real. Mamuja, by the name of Zawisha, created this place. And what if one of those weird shadow things decides to gobble you up? The city's not at all what it should be. What I wouldn't give for a drink right about now. Yeah, that guy is dead. Hey, thief. When I jumped through a drift, I was expecting a dungeon, maybe a labyrinth, not whatever all this is. It's dangerous, I need to leave? Don't make me laugh. Not long ago I heard someone crowing in the street about some rare stone they found. Something like that could be worth a fortune. I'm not going anywhere if there are witches just lying around for the taking. We don't mean to threaten you, but you need to leave at once. This place is more dangerous than it looks. Never seen a city like this in Tyrell before. It's an illusion. Dangerous, you'd say. Perhaps I should hold off on surveying further then. Well, shame, I happened upon a rather curious stone I hoped to take with me, but it was stolen by some Tonawatan brute. Not knowing the value of that stone, I can't say it's worth giving chase, but he went off to the south if we mean to go after them. I'll be leaving now. If it's truly as dangerous as you say, I hope you'll be leaving soon as well. came looking for some fancy trinkets too. Well, feast your eyes on this. You spoke with anyone who would listen, or if you were to stop on to heed our warnings. A block of raw laptop, but how? I take it you're the one that found this? I'm sorry, but we can't let you leave with that stone. It's too dangerous. You expect me to just hand it over? This isn't to Leola. You have no authority here. I found it, I'm keeping it. It's for your own good. Put the stone down and walk away, or else. Careful, brother. Lay hand in it. The round resolve will never let us hear the end of it. We already in our debt as this. Fine. You've come here to make your fortune, yes? But let me pay you for it. That would certainly save me the trouble of finding a suitable buyer, but don't expect me to let it go for cheap. We couldn't help but overhear you're selling an artifact found in these ruins. Whatever is a gentleman willing to pay, I assure you I can pay more. Great, just what we needed. What do you suppose we do now? Explaining the circumstances surrounding this place would likely take more time than we can afford. Of course. Why not hold an auction for the stone? An auction? That would certainly simplify matters. It would save you the trouble of bargaining with all interested parties separately and incentivize them to pay you handsomely lest they be outbid. Fine by me. I'll be only accepting payment in gil. This money will be taking me overseas where I can finally live the life I've always wanted. My work has been turning a tidy profit these days, so I have coin to spare. I offer every last gil to my name if I have to. The stone will be mine. An auction should hopefully make things easier for Bakurjasha, assuming he can outbid his competition, of course. I'm guessing Ajal was inspired by the nearby auction house? Still, that was quick thinking. Let's hold the auction already and get this over with. If I may have your opening bids? Can you handle the bidding? You don't have much experience with auctions, but you have coin you can use. Around 1 million gil saved up for our work from the Landsguard. Hopefully that will be enough. Well, it's imperative that we recover the Electro, but it wouldn't do to show your hand too early. Better to be conservative with your bid. Staying just ahead of the competition. Damn, I wish I had money to join in. Seems like fun. We have 1 million gil all told, but I'm trusting you won't need to spend all of it. I have no time for back and forth of this bargaining nonsense. All I need is one bid to win this stone. Foreign merchants relieved me of my stock a few moons past. It's a good thing they did. 1,500,000 gil, and I was forced to spend half of it in preparation for this expedition. So, what's your offer? Right then, how much will we start with? Let's start with 100,000. Start low. Is that all? When I start with 400,000. 400,000? I was hoping to keep at least half my savings. But if you have to bid more... $600,000. 600,000? How is anyone meant to compete with that? One out of a running, good. When I bid 700,000. Only one left now, but I don't think we'll give up over the fight. $710? When it... Well, I have come too far to back down. 720,000. Raising their bid by such a narrow margin, someone reached their limit. 730,000. We're out. Finally, it's over. You have a knack for business dealings, Desiree. Maybe you were a merchant in another life? That looks to be all of it. The stone is yours. As far as it looked, I'm sure I would have made a mess of things if they were me. I tend to get a little carried away under pressure. It was more expensive than I would have liked, but nothing a few hunt bills can make up for, I hope. Well done, friend. Now let's have a look at that electrope. Ah, this presence, it feels familiar. The Shadow Lord. There's no mistaking that deep and bitter malice. That stone must have served as the heart of the Shadow Lord's echo. It was a being of pure hatred responsible for bringing about the Crystal War. It was part of a company that would eventually bring his reign of terror to an end. You helped defeat the Shadow Lord? Yes. Meaning Aja must have been there with her, but I don't remember ever hearing about that. In any case, I will hold onto the electrope. We should hurry back and speak with the Lance Guard. Excuse me, but were you speaking of a Shadow Lord just now? Yes? If there's more you wish to know, perhaps I can be of help. I've heard a great many tales of a fiend from the bards who frequent the taverns here in Jeuno. I've been waiting over yonder near the fountain for my companions to arrive, but you're welcome to speak with me until they do. A most welcome offer, though there's much to be said for a first-hand encounter with the Echo in question. Perhaps we can revisit these tales another time, after we've made certain no more treasure hunters can readily gain entry. Let's return to Leola and speak with the Lance Guard. This way, come and meet us at Brightbloom Post. Valanskat all appear to be well trained and well armed. I guess it would be a match even for our soldiers back home. I was hoping a few of Valanskat would be here already. Once again, we're left with nothing but time on our hands until the real just shows himself. Suppose there's no shortage of work to be done if we ask Valanskat. You may be better served exploring Tural, familiarizing yourself with the land. Wouldn't do to find yourself lost when you're needed most. An honest to God's adventure, what a great idea! You're coming with us, Ajal. And don't you dare say you're not interested. Any self-respecting adventurer would jump at a chance like this. I'll not deny the suggestion piques my interest. They warn you now, though. The wilds of Tural are rife with danger. It's no place for the unprepared. I welcome the challenge. I can hardly count the number of times one idea has been visited by some world-ending calamity. But no matter how dire things may have seemed, we always found a way through. Together. This will be no different, I'm sure of it. There's nothing we can't do so long as we have each other. A band of adventurers barely met, united in the face of great peril. Just like old times. Are adventurers always so sentimental? Is that so terrible a thing? Huh. Ah, here it is. The moment we learn anything about the real just movements, I've asked him to contact you. Meanwhile, in the echo of Tulia. Soon we'll slaughter them all. Is that not so, Zarilja? Soon, my dawn servant. Very soon. Then there shall be none to stop you from taking a rightful place on the throne. How fortunate for me, he lacks the wisdom of a true dawn servant. But if he will be made fit to rule, I must choose from the echoes carefully. The Shadow Lord showed promise, but Vanadia is a land of rich history. I needn't settle for those who are but a blink of an eye in the annals of history. With the strength of the ancients, I will bring Tural, no, the whole world to its knees. We haven't heard anything yet. Let's go back to the Hume to learn about Vanadiel. Okay, a few people are here. Apparently. Mitzo. I've looked high and low, but still no sign of any treasure. Or townsfolk for that matter. If I do manage to find anything, I suppose I just help myself. The city's unlike anything I've ever seen in Turan. What secrets do you suppose are buried here? Ah, there you are. If you have any burning questions about this place or anything else in Vanadiel, I should be happy to answer them. Who are you? Me, I'm no adventurer of any particular renown, if that's what you were expecting. Just a man come from Bastok looking to see more of the world. While lacking fame, I make up for it with the strength of numbers. I have no shortage of friends willing to accompany me in pursuit of riches should I reach out via link pearl. The armor I wear is proof of our accomplishments, salvaged from the depths of the Al-Zadal undersea ruins. That said, I treasure my time with them more than any trinket or bauble we've unearthed on our travels together. You understand, surely? Tell me about Fafnir, the second boss. The great dragon that slumbers in the depth of a boyada tree. Yes, I know of it, as does anyone who would dare venture into Zitar. Stories of a great hero that battle with a dragon, the harrowing encounter concluding the strike at its heart with a fabled blade Redeal. If only they hadn't missed their mark. The blade is said to remain nestled in the beast's bosom even to this day. To survive such a blow and live for all these years, it speaks a strength I struggle to imagine. And yet the tales of its might have not deterred the brave and foolhardy from venturing in the tree, hopeful they can slay Fafnir and claim its spoils. For you have reached the dragon's eyrie and lived to tell of it. Tell me about the Archangels. I've heard stories of the 5 warriors clad in black. If the tales are kind, we never have the poor fortune of crossed paths with them. They were not born but forged from crystal, assuming the legends are true. The dawn goddess Altana wept 5 tears that gave birth to the 5 races: Hume, Elven, Tarutaru, Mitra and Galka. The Archangels are said to be the embodiment of their sins. Apathy, arrogance, cowardice, envy, rage. The darkness that lurks within us all. No one is certain why they were created. The prevailing theory is they served as guardians of some ancient paradise. And tell me about the Shadow Lord. The great darkness of the Northlands, hatred made manifest. There's not a soul in all of Vanadiel who doesn't know of a Shadow Lord. His sole desire was to bring about the extinction of Altana's children, and so he rallied together the Beastmen, inciting what came to be known as the Crystal War. The Beastmen's assault was merciless and was not long before Bastok, Sandoria and Windhurst were brought to their knees. It was only after Archduke Kamlanort convinced them to join forces with the Grand Duchy of Jeuno they gained the momentum needed to push back. United as the Alliance of Altana, they would eventually drive the Beastmen back from their lands, and soon found themselves going on the offensive in Jalkabad. The Alliance proved victorious in the end, but not without a great many sacrifices. Peace had been restored to Vanadiel, for a time at least. The Shadow Lord was somehow resurrected 20 years later, but thankfully he was slain before the Beastmen could be emboldened to take arms a second time. There's much speculation as to his origin. Most believe he was once a Gulka, if you can believe it. He was betrayed by one of his companions, mortally wounded and left to die. A dear friend of his was also said to have been cut down in the altercation. He succumbed to his wounds, but his rage and despair would remain, giving life to the Shadow Lord. If what you say is true and he has returned once more, perhaps the flames of his hatred can never truly be extinguished? I think that was everything. Good, then I would end the episode here, and we continue the story when a patch releases that continues the story. And with that I say, until next time, when we play more Final Fantasy XIV, I'm Mace, and don't get lost.